All right, it looks like we are in and we are live. If you're popping in live, I'm so glad you're here. If you're watching this on the replay, I'm glad you're watching this on the replay. This is day 7 of a 7-day deep dive. I do these every quarter, pretty much every quarter. 7 days of diving deeper on some of the things that are major stressors in our lives, really getting clear about how the pressure-free method can make a difference in your life. And tonight, as day 7, closing out this series, what we're going to do is talk about designing your pressure-free life. I'm going to pull some things together from what we've been talking about this week and really go deep into the method for you, get you acclimated to some of the ways that this can really make an impact for you, so you can start to decide whether or not this is the lifestyle you want. I say lifestyle very intentionally because I've had so many clients tell me, I love this lifestyle. Like, pressure-free isn't just something you do once a day. It isn't an hour-long class. Like, our sessions, when I work privately with my clients, are about an hour, but it's something you're doing all day long to prevent the release of the hormones, to get your body clean, just like you would get your body clean of anything. The other night, and I can't wait for this testimonial to drop, we had an incredible in-studio experience with one of my clients. And he actually said it was like a detox. The first 4 days of working with me after our first session was like a detox for him. So it's time to get clean. When you get clean of these stress hormones, every cell of your body rejoices. Every bit of your hair, every skin cell, everything, your lips, your teeth, your eyes. I've had clients say they see better. I've had clients say diseases they had for years are now gone. They are in remission. They are gone. They don't experience them. I had a 10-year-old with horrible allergies. He has no allergies anymore. So what is it that you want? Like, really think about it tonight. If you're taking notes, like, where's my pen? Usually I have a zillion pens. Like, grab a pen. Grab even a sticky note or whatever you have, a napkin. Some of the best ideas happen on the back of envelopes. Whatever you have near you, just grab something to write with and write on, so that we can get this idea of designing your pressure-free life really crystallized. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to share my screen tonight, and I'm so glad to see people popping in here on my Zoom, and I want to bring up this slide right here for you. It's a little dense, but I want to use it as a way to get us started. And one of the letters that isn't on here that I like to use, there are actually two. One is G and one is H. So before we go through this, I'm going to go off the share for just a sec. I want to go into the H's. So the H's stand for how you show up. No matter where you are, you could be showing up to a dinner with your family. We just had all 5 of us around the dining room table tonight. It was very fun. You could be showing up in an event. You could be speaking on a stage. You could be talking on Zoom to somebody. Wherever you show up, I want to give you some little clues about how you can show up a little more present, so that the person on the other side feels like you're very connected. Also, it will help you calm your amygdala, actually calm your nervous system so you don't trigger fight or flight. So the first stage is your heart space. I learned this from my wonderful body coach, and I highly recommend you check out Leela Veronica, bodywithleela.com, if you want to go and check out some free assets that she has. I've been working with this woman for over 5 years. She's transformed my body, and I highly recommend her. But she taught me about the heart space. I've always worked on posture with my clients, but she really crystallized the word tonight. Like, she really brought it in. And I'm still learning from her. Like, I'm in her group program right now. I've done about 200 days in a row with her. It's just phenomenal. This heart space is really important. So from your shoulders down into your ribs, I just want to go wide for a moment with you. So just imagine this all kind of expanding wide. Take up space. Like, you might have taken up a little bit of space on the screen. I probably took up an inch on both sides, like just opening up. And then go 3-dimensionally open. There's a lot of ways you can do this work. Leela teaches it really, really well. I'm just keeping it super simple tonight just give yourself some space. Most of us have tight shoulders, rounded shoulders, we're curled up a little bit. And when you go wide with your heart space, everything can settle, your shoulders can relax. You're giving your inside organ space, your heart, your lungs, your spine. Sometimes my spine will even crack when I open up like this. It's like everything is getting in shape. I have scoliosis. I used to blame it on violin playing, but I know there's an inherited thing as well. But about a 14-degree curve. It was, in fact, I was in scoliosis clinics for over a year where they pounded me with x-rays. And I finally just said to my mother, I don't want to go anymore. Because there were people with serious scoliosis, like their spines all crooked, they're on gurneys, like all curled up. And here was me, like with not a huge curve, but they were monitoring it. So this has really opened me up. I have no issues in my spine. I have no back pain at all, thanks to all these things that I learned over the years and with Leila. So go wide with your heart. And when you go wide with your heart, it can feel a little vulnerable. She taught me this and I love it because it's true. We're not used to opening up here. And so when you open up here, you could feel a little vulnerable, like you just, revealed yourself, if you will. You just opened up. But the person on the other side is now going to feel more connection from you. So if you lack intimacy and connection in your relationships, just by going a little bit wide, and I always have people then soften their abs. So just soften your ab muscles, and that will help soften the whole front of your body, like even here. But sorry, I'm losing my headphones here. That's a 60-year-old neck. It didn't used to look like that. But by going wide and giving myself space there and softening the front of my body, this has just gotten like really nice. So also your face, soften your face. Notice I don't have lines. I have never done Botox. I probably never will. I'm not interested in that. But this right here is just because I'm not triggering the stress response. So if you want all of this to look a little better and feel a little better, go wide, soften your abs, and now the whole front of you can soften. So that's your first H, your heart. Second H, and this is a little funky, but I hope you'll come with me and do it. I want you to stand up a little bit and grab your butt, grab your glute muscles, and pull them back and spread them a little wider. So you're sitting on your hamstrings, on your femur bones, and your butt is more up here supporting your lower back. Slide back down onto your butt again, because I love to say this. I used to say to my violin students, they might make a mistake or something, but Mrs. Ingalls, I go, oh, there's no butts, you sit on your butt. But then I learned from my body coach, you don't sit on your butt. So I have to take it another level. We sit on our hamstrings. Go back on your butt. I want you to reach back and feel your lumbar curve. So you might feel a little bit of a curve there. Now get your glutes back, pick them up again, pull them back, pull them a little wide, and now feel that lumbar curve. Now slide back onto your butt and you'll see that your back flattens out. So many people have lower back pain. A lot of, I have really tall boys. A lot of tall people tend to slouch a little and also sit on their butts. So they're like in this C curve. Their spine goes into a C curve. That's very painful and not a great way for your spine to be. So just by getting your glutes back, all your nerves and blood vessels going through your spine are rejoicing right now. They're not impinged. Your discs aren't impinged. So many people have disc issues. When you get into this frame, wide here, then your glutes back, so you're on your hamstrings, okay? And your hips are wide, 2 H words. Instead of tight, you're widening your hips. So now you got wide hips, wide heart. It's a totally different way of being. It's totally changed my life. I practice this, by the way, I habit stack. Habit stack's another H. So I habit stack when I sit at the dining room table, because I don't know why I want to slouch and just kind of curl up and eat, like don't look at me while I'm eating. I don't know what that is. I have 2 sisters and they would sit so regally. I put my crown on because that was them, like regal at the table. But I was just like this, I don't know why. So I practiced there, I practiced at the computer, and I practiced in my car. Those are my 3 places to practice this. Now your third H is your head. So we're on our phones a lot, we're down a lot, we read and we're on our laptops, instead of getting the screens up. So every once in a while, get your head up and actually look out. I love how my friend Leela says, look out at the horizon. Just get your eyes to the horizon, horizon eyes. And I was at Lake Michigan today, so I could go out and look at the big horizon. It's so inspiring when you get to see a big horizon, because we just get so in our cubicles, so in our homes. We used to be outdoor people. Like most humans spent all the time outdoors until like nighttime when you'd go in. And we've changed that. We've reversed that. We're now indoor people, and we rarely go outside. So if you get the chance to like really look out, I have windows up high here. I get to look out at a beautiful sunset every night when I'm working here. And I will take time to look out. I also have some lovely trees. I'm in love with my trees. I really love trees. We got married at the Society for the Preservation of New Hampshire Forests. We got married in Michigan and New Hampshire, but New Hampshire wedding was actually there. And I'm so glad it was, because I love trees. So get your eyes up, get out to the horizon. So those are your H's, just to get started here tonight. Now let me bring up the framework. So feel free to take a screenshot of this. And if you want to text me or email me or message me, if you're on Facebook, private message me, I'll send you this if you like it. This is just a cheat sheet. We're supposed to cheat. You know, if you can cheat and get if you can actually get something more granular and easy to follow like this, you can just post this on your fridge. So I'm going to dive into the method, and I'm going to take you through the rest of the ABCs here tonight. And then we can really kind of step into what are you designing. So the pressure-free method has 3 simple steps. Step 1 are targets, defining your goals, dreams, and visions. It can be almost impossible to future pace and vision if you're triggering fight or flight. Your brain can't do it. All your brain wants to do when you've triggered the stress response is survive. So if you feel like you're in survival mode, I just want to hold your hands right now. It's not your fault. You've just keep releasing these hormones because we have habits of reactions. We have reflexes that we're going to talk about with the F. Reactions, reflexes that are so habitual, you're stuck in the stress cycle. Tonight, what we're going to do is start to stop the stress cycle, which will then help stop the storm of stress hormones, the storm of chronic inflammation in your body and in your brain, and chronic disease, both mental and physical, because all chronic disease, mental and physical, has a base in the release of these stress hormones. And when we can break that, so much is possible for you. So much is possible. You can really begin to feel limitless, like you can design your life. So right now, your targets must just be, they could simply be, I don't want to have allergies anymore, or I want to reduce my anxiety, or I want to get this position at work, this promotion. Like, what's a simple goal that you could write down right now? Go ahead and write down at least one thing that is something you would love to see happen by the end of next year. If we're talking at this time next year, like, what do you want to be able to tell me? What would you say to me? It's like, oh my gosh, Al, I got a huge promotion. I'm making $20,000 or more a year now. Or it's, oh my gosh, I got rid of my acid reflux, and now I can feel like I can eat anything and I don't have any digestive problems anymore. Or, oh my gosh, my eyes are so much better. I was really worried about some things going wrong with my eyes, and now I'm not worried about that anymore. Or maybe it's relationship, what is it? So write down one of your targets. It could be as simple as this too. I'm telling you, sometimes people say this to me, they go, Elle, I just want to feel happier. That's an H word. Do you want to feel happier? Do you want to feel more fulfilled? Do you want to feel more love? More joy? Go ahead and write one of those words down. That is a dream. That's a target. That's a vision. It can be just a simple word like that. So go ahead and write something down there. Step 2 are triggers. And we'll go a little deeper into this, of course, but what makes you feel any of the affects, any of the emotions under that A there? What makes you feel those? Those are the emotions that will prime you to trigger the stress response. So anything that makes you feel those emotions is a possible trigger. Not saying it is, it's possible. It's like when you prime the pump. Have you ever, we had all kinds of boats growing up. We had 5 different boats growing up at one point. One was a little fishing boat, and you have to like prime the pump to get the gasoline to the motor so that you could start the motor. So you'd pump this little bulb. That's what these emotions are. They're like pumping, getting you to the point where, oh my gosh, you're going to overreact and trigger the stress response. So what are your triggers? They could be so tiny. I'm still finding them 12 years in. It's a journey. Now, step 3, tools in 10 seconds, the 10-second solution that I'm always talking about. So from a resting heart rate, I really need to put that caveat out there, because if you're an athletic heart rate or something has already got your heart rate charged up a little bit, you have less time, okay? But if you can catch it before your heartbeat makes that big jolt and gets up into like 200 beats per minute, which is like a big flood, your heart rate is going to rise up to tell the adrenal glands to release. So it's the amygdala, your heart, and the adrenal glands. There's other things too, but we want to keep it pretty simple. That then your little adrenal glands down by your kidneys are going to release a flood of hormones. Those hormones are called catecholamines. People think of it as the adrenaline flood. I call it a cocktail, because it is a cocktail of hormones that produces all sorts of side effects. The main reason for it is to mobilize fat and glucose from your extremities, your brain, and your arms and your legs, and pull that fat and glucose. So you have a ton of energy to fight or run away. You're just sitting still, driving, or waiting for the speech, or waiting for the test to start. So what does the fat and glucose do? The fat and the glucose actually builds on your abdomen and in your arteries, and in a little fatty sac right at the base of your brainstem, right between your shoulder blades. They call it like the dowager's hump, that little hump back there. That's where the fat stays. Most people don't know there's a second flood of hormones. So after the adrenaline phase, or the catecholamine phase, or the cocktail that kicks this whole thing off, after that, your brain is going to get to a point where it's like, okay, the threat is gone. I don't need to worry anymore. I don't need to trigger the stress hormones anymore. I'm okay now. A second flood of hormones goes out from the outer skin, the glucose, it's glucose and cortisol from the cortex into the bloodstream. So glucose and cortisol has a really great purpose to go out to these cells and fix them, because we have damaged our neurons, and we've damaged, I had eczema on my hands because these cells were literally always damaged from the stress response. A lot of people have skin issues, feet issues, cold hands, cold feet. We're pulling the power out of our extremities. You can get shaky too. Your limbs will get shaky in this whole thing. It takes me over an hour, by the way, to go deeply into all the side effects. So I'm just giving you a couple here that may make sense for you. So second flood goes out to fix everything. However, that has a whole bunch of side effects too. 2 that I want to focus on tonight is that they can, those chemicals, when they hit your brain, those hormones, can make you feel anxious for no reason and can cause insomnia. So you might get to sleep, but at 2 or 3 a.m. you're wide awake. That means before you went to sleep, sometime in that evening time, you probably triggered fight or flight. If you're having trouble getting to sleep, it's because earlier you triggered the stress response, and now that flood has gone out and you're just kind of restless. You know how you're just kind of restless? By the way, if that's happening to you, I want to give you a tip right now. Let go of the idea of having to sleep and just tune into resting. So I will often say to myself, how can I rest well tonight? Let go of the idea of sleep, because there's so much anxiety around sleep today. People with their watches telling them whether sleep is good or not. All this anxiety around sleep, which should be the most normal human thing we do because we've worked hard all day. But if we've triggered these hormones, they're going to tell us to stay awake. Does that make sense? It's so cool. We can clear that out for you. By the way, if you have some sleep issues, it's so beautiful when you can finally get a real night's sleep. My eldest son and I were the first to use this method in our home, and we just were digging in. We kept getting up earlier and earlier and earlier because we were finally getting a real night's sleep. It was really incredible. In fact, he woke up one morning, came down, it's like 5 a.m. and he was 18, a teenager. What teenager gets up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday? He comes downstairs. I'm already downstairs doing some work at the computer. And he goes, Mother, I feel so calm and exhilarated every morning. What is that? If you look at this chart here, you'll see those words, calm and exhilarated. Those came from Hugh Ingalls. Those are the words he said in 2010, because he and I were both getting up earlier and earlier and feeling better and better. So you've got 10 seconds from a resting heart rate. I remember I was working with a hockey player once, and he said, I have 0.6 seconds. But I showed him in 0.6 seconds that he could break the stress cycle, and he didn't have to be in the penalty box so much. And he wasn't, which was pretty darn cool for him. He had more ice time. So let's dive into this chart here. We're going to start on the far left, and you'll see the A's. So the A's are your affects, your feelings. How do you feel? What makes you feel annoyed or angry? Notice that's kind of on a continuum. You could feel like really, really angry. I mean, really, really annoyed, and then finally full-blown angry. I have some clients, though, who just say, man, I get angry about so much. And then how we view anger and annoyance. Some people think, oh, they're just a little annoyed. And other person might say, oh, gosh, no, they're angry. It's different for each one of us, depending on our family when we were growing up, and then the family we create, and how we feel about annoyance and anger. Anxious and afraid. So what makes you feel anxious? Provide you with some anxiety. By the way, if you have general anxiety disorder, if you feel like you're almost always anxious or worried or nervous, that's because that second flood of hormones is keeping you in the cycle of anxiety. When we can break the stress cycle and not release the first flood, that second flood won't go out, and you will feel far less anxious. It's so beautiful. The pressure-free method is truly miraculous. You just have to talk to some of my clients to find out. Like, they couldn't, some of them were very skeptical when they came to me. If you're skeptical, I love it. But if you're open and willing, we can do some work together. Ashamed. So what makes you feel ashamed? It could be something from your childhood. It could be something more, close to the present. You just said something to someone and you're like, oh God, why did I say that? You probably were under the influence of the hormones if you say something or do something you later regret. And that can create a lot of shame. And that shame can be that thing that kind of loops up at night when you're trying to get to sleep. So what makes you feel ashamed? There are a couple other ways, but these are the main ones. And that can get you started. Tonight, what we're about is getting you started, designing your pressure-free life. So you feel this emotion and your body starts to tense up, and that little thing in your brain, the amygdala, fires and tells the heart rate to go up, and then the adrenal glands release. Then we move into the F's. The F's are your reflexes, your reactions. Some of these reactions are habits that are generations old because you imitated people. And not just your family, but you imitated teachers, coaches, mentors, peers, people that you respected and you wanted to be like. The mean girl thing, or mean people, like, oh God, look at her dress, that kind of thing. We imitated that. We built that kind of habit into us as well when we saw it from someone that we wanted to be included in the tribe with. So it's a real tribal thing. So take a look at these F's. Most people know about fight or flight. So you might want to fight and get aggressive. I was a hockey mom. And there were moments where I just wanted to freaking leap out onto the ice, just get some kid off of there who was bothering my kid who was trying to score. Right? Also, I had a goalie son. Thank God I've created pressure free, or I probably would have had a heart attack many times, been in the hospital a few times for panic attacks and heart attacks, because when you're a goalie mom, you got to really chill out. So fight, flee, you want to run away. Some people freeze, like a deer or a bunny, and then they might run or fight. But some people get very stuck. I have people will say to me, Elle, I can't focus. It's like my brain is broken. I'm really stuck. So maybe you freeze. The last two I've learned from clients. One was someone who had been diagnosed as an adult with ADHD. And she said, we fib, we make up little lies. And it's not just people with ADHD that make up these little lies. I've done it. Maybe you've done it. It's like, you're covering your butt. So if your boss says, is that project almost done? And you'll be like, oh yeah, it's almost done. You haven't finished it. But you know you'll get it done by the deadline, but you don't want them to know how far behind you are. Like you'll just make up a little lie to cover your butt, because God forbid somebody find out what's really going on in your head, right? It's that imposter syndrome. You got to put that face on so that people don't really know what's really going on with you, which is so sad. And you'll see a word when we get to the C's, which is the beauty of pressure free. Last is fawning. Fawning comes back to the tribe thing. So you'll over flatter because you want to be a part of the tribe, or you want to get a client. You'll like over flatter, and that it really ruins your chances because you've gone into fight or flight, you're like overdoing it. And so the person who you're trying to get the respect from will usually just shut you down or shut you off or not trust you. So fawning is a real deal. Over flattering. All right, so once we've triggered fight or flight, we move into those B behaviors. So there's the B, how many letters? Snippy, snappy, impatient, that one. That's me. And when I trigger the stress response, I want everything done yesterday. Like, come on, those dishes should be done by now, and we should be out the door by now. We should, I'm just like really bossy. Honestly, anytime there's bullying behavior, it's usually a fight or flight issue. That person who's moving into bullying behavior has a real quick trigger. They usually are pretty aggressive and angry too. So some people finger point. Oh, it's your fault I don't have the project done. You didn't give me the paper yet. Or it's my kid's fault I haven't gotten my degree yet. I just had to put it off. We'll finger point. We'll also point the finger back at us, and we'll shame. So blaming, shaming, the blame shame deal. I like to say it's a lot of BS. The next one, oh, it's spelled wrong on this chart. Excuse me, it's not binging, it's binging. So I'm glad that I actually made a mistake. Like, I think I've corrected it somewhere, but not on this chart. So binging, you might binge Netflix, you might binge entertainment, you might binge alcohol, you might binge weed, you might binge chocolate or comfort food, or you can't eat at all. Like some of my clients, they can't eat for hours when they trigger fight or flight. If I trigger the fight or flight stress response big, I cannot eat for like hours. I just can't, because my stomach is just so messed up. So binging is a real deal. And I said this when I was talking about the F's and fibbing, but I really have people say to me, Al, I feel like my brain is broken. I've been hearing this from some clients too who've done a lot of weed. They're like, I feel like my brain is broken. Like I can't focus. I can't seem to have energy. People will use things to get to sleep, but their brain doesn't actually get down into a deep delta wave sleep because of these things. And so that feeling of being broken, it's really sad. And I love it when I can help somebody get out of that. And then of course, burned out, just, maybe you have panic attacks. Maybe you're just at the end. You're so overwhelmed with all the things in your life. And I'm just so burnt out. I don't even know if I can keep up this pace. That's something I hear a lot. Like, I don't know if I can keep up this pace. Another thing I've heard, and I'm just going to lean in here for a moment because it's one of those things that just makes my heart just crack open for the person. They're like, makes me almost cry. I feel like my life is a house of cards, and it just takes one little flick and it's all going to tumble down. There are a lot of people who feel that right now. So those are the B's. And the thing is, these hormones make you feel those things. And sometimes it's not even true. Like, you have a roof over your house, ahead, it doesn't leak, you've got food in the fridge, your basics are covered, and yet you'll still go through all of this because you feel unsafe. So those are your B's. All right, that's kind of like, I like to joke that in my class, you don't want A's, F's, or B's. We're not going to fail. And you don't need A's or B's to do well in my class, because we're going to focus on the C's, D's, and E's, which is why I changed the color for these three things to more cool colors rather than the hot colors that we started out with here. These are words, the C words are words that my clients have used to describe how they feel when they go through the transformation with me. it's their conduct too. It's like what they want to become. So they'll state that they want to be it, but then they actually start to feel it. And that is profound. To make the transformation and break the stress cycle to the point where this is your operating system, these last three columns, not the first three. We're going to abandon that operating system and move into the C's, D's, and E's. Does that make sense? Is that something you want? I know I do. I never want to go back to those A's, F's, and B's. I do not want to live that way. Prior to 2010, that was my life, and I didn't know it. I thought I was a pretty cool professional. I've been told that by some famous musicians. Like, wow, you just really have it together. And, you know, we never worked with someone who was so calm in the moment when all the fires break out when you're producing a symphony concert. So I wasn't so. I was triggering the stress response for the big A for me was annoyance. Get annoyed at a lot of little things. I'm a little annoyed with my desk lately. It's got too many papers on it. You know, I want things nice and clean and clear. I like structure. I like things to go a certain way. I'm an early bird. I also like to have a lot of fun. And so it's interesting, you know, how we're all made up. Let's get into these C's. So what do you want? You know, if you're on Facebook right now, I don't know, you know, or you're watching this somewhere, type it in. What do you want? Type it in the comment. What do you want? When you write it down or type it in and claim it for yourself, something starts to shift. And tonight, I want you to shift. Like we've done 7 days together if you've been following this, and I really want you to shift. So do you want to be calmer? Do you want to feel more confident? Do you want to be more competent and viewed more like, wow, she's so competent. He's so competent. He's got it together. He's, you know, I want to work with him or her. How about courage? Do you want to feel more courageous? That's actually one of my big words, courage, courageous. How about congruent or congruent? I'm from Concord, New Hampshire, so I say congruent. So what that means is that, and by the way, both pronunciations are fine. So I looked it up, you know, because I've always said congruent, probably because my geometry teacher said congruent triangles or whatever. So inside, outside matching. So you're not faking it to make it. You actually are fully aligned. Alignment is a really big word in my coaching. Like you feel so aligned physically and mentally that you end up starting to feel like you do get to design your life. You do get to create a beautiful life. I stand for that. I really stand for that. And just talking to one of my clients this morning, she's like, you have done that for me. Like I am living a beautiful life. It's so incredible. So congruent is a really important one. What C is important to you? What words in here are important to you? And of course, there's tons more. This is just a simple rubric for you, a simple framework. Let's move over to the D's. The D's are words that get you the results. And I purposefully put them in here. They're declarations. You need to declare these things if you're going to see any transformation or shift. And I'm going to hold you to that. You know, if anyone who does a strategy session, they don't go forward, it's like they didn't declare it. They don't want to change. Or maybe I'm just not the right coach for them to do the change, and that's fine. It's like, let's declare it. So declare it says, you know, decide to do it. You decided to watch this tonight. If you're in, like I've been talking for about a half hour here, you're in, you're doing it. So you made a decision to watch this. That was your first decision. And now we're going to start to do some things together. If you're still wide and sitting on your hamstrings and your glutes are behind you, I'm still in that frame. So adjust yourself. Let's do it. Just do it. It's one of my favorite slogans. So do it. Determining. It takes a little determination to put something new in your life, to actually do the work. Just a little bit of determination is all it takes with Pressure Free until you start to get some traction. It's really not a lot, and I'm so here to help you and guide you. Then disciplining. It's like, this is a daily way of life. It's a lifestyle, as I said at the top of this hour. This is a lifestyle. And so it becomes a daily discipline in the most beautiful sense of the word. You're disciplining your operating system. You're getting yourself purposefully out of fight or flight. You're breaking the stress cycle. so that you don't have that storm of stress hormones, that storm of chronic inflammation in your brain and your body, and that chronic disease. You're breaking all of that when we work together here. Deserving. This is one of my favorite words, and I'm going to stop the share and come out big for you for a moment because it's so important. This is like so important. I don't know if I've said this in this series yet, but I'm bringing it forward here. When I was in 1985, so I was becoming a conductor, like an orchestra conductor, which was a really, really big deal. In 1986, I was actually the first woman to be admitted into the University of Michigan's orchestral conducting program. It's an international program. The second year, a woman from Brazil came in. So a lot of women have gone through that program since I did, and you see many more women conductors today. The podium's kind of one of those last places where you will see a woman, and certainly in the 80s, that was the case. So I applied to go to the Mozarteum in Salzburg, and I took myself there by myself. And that was, there were some hijackings and stuff going on there. My father actually didn't want me to go because there was some violence. And when we got off the plane in Munich, sure enough, everyone had like these big rifles and stuff, the guards, there were guards everywhere. Like there's a lot going on in the transportation issues with some hijacking and things, but I took myself there. I just went. And of the 60 students or so, I think there were about 60 of us, there were 3 women. I was one. And I actually got to conduct. I wasn't an auditor, I was active. You had to audition when you got there to find out if you'd even be able to conduct the symphony. So I'm there and I'm making all these new friends. And there was this guy from New Zealand. I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. So we instantly had connection. Turns out his girlfriend and one of my colleagues at Michigan were in an orchestra in Spain together. So we had that connection too. But still I was kind of wary. I was a woman all alone in a foreign country, and my German was, ich spreche etwas Deutsch. It was not good. Okay. I could count like really big to do measure numbers and things. And I knew all the musical terms. Well, not all, but a lot. But my German wasn't very good. And so I was being cautious. He goes, I want you to come over to my apartment. And I'm like, I don't think so. We can go out to dinner, but I'm not just going to come over to your apartment. I don't even know you. And he goes, no, I want to show you my key. And I go, well, just show me your key. He goes, no, I can't bring it with me. So now I'm a bit intrigued. He can't bring his key with him. Is it because it's like hooked to something? I don't know. He goes, I just need to show you where they've put me up. You don't even have to come in, but it's really amazing. It's in the old city of Salzburg, like built in like 1400 or something. So now I'm really intrigued. So I go to see this apartment and we stand in front of the door, and it's like this huge oak door and there's big fittings. And I see this like huge lock. He lifts up the mat and the key is like this big. He takes the key and inserts it in and turns it, and the door creaks open. And inside, there were no straight walls. Like everything was curved and made out of clay, basically, I guess. I mean, it was amazing. So I was super glad I went, super glad I saw this key. And Mark and I became great friends. And that key has always stuck in my mind. And when I created Pressure Free, I will share this with my clients to say it's a key that big that we need to insert deep inside our hearts. And we need to start turning that key a little bit to really claim for ourselves that we deserve a beautiful life. We deserve at least a fulfilling life. We're going to have a lot of challenges. People are going to die. People are going to get hurt. There's going to be health issues. There's going to be job loss. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. But we still deserve to have some sort of a fulfilling life on this planet, where our gifts and talents get to come out at least a little bit, and we get to experience some things. And so I call it the deserving key, and you get to put it right in your heart. And now that your heart is a little more open, it'll be a little easier to start turning that key. So deserve, you have to step into the fact that, yeah, you know what? I deserve something better. One of my clients is like, I didn't even know, I thought life was just going to go on like this, and I was just going to die like this. And it was miserable. No, you don't have to. I stand for that. And if anybody says you can't change something, I stand for you. I stand for you in full belief that we can at least change it a little. We can at least open up hope and possibility that something could shift at least a little bit. This is a simple example, but if anybody would have told me that I would not have eczema covering this hand in particular for the rest of my life, like, look at that. There's no eczema on that hand. I would have been complete denial. No, I've had this since I was 13. It's never going to go away. So just, don't even try. I've tried every cream. I've gone to doctors, incredible doctor. I'm a violinist. I need my hands to work. And I actually had a friend who had it on his fingertips and he had to become a conductor and leave viola because he couldn't play his viola because it was actually on his fingertips. Like, I just have to deal with this. No, I didn't. Because in 8 weeks, it all went away using this method on myself. So whatever it is, let's open that up a little bit. Whatever you first wrote down as a target, I want you to open up to possibility for that. Open up to hope and possibility and start turning that key just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, let's get back to the share. I want to bring this back up for you because we have to get to the E's. To me, the E's are some of the most beautiful words. Because my name is Elle. E. So the E's are words that my clients have said, this is what I feel now. They feel enlightened. Hopefully by the end of this session, I'm going late tonight, by the way. I'm giving you it all. I can't help it. It's like, I'm only supposed to give you the what and not the how. I can't help it. I have to share this with you. It's meant to be shared in the world. So share this out with anybody you want. It could change their life just tonight. So enlightened. I want you to be enlightened about the stress response. Everything that you read, pretty much everything you read about anxiety, depression is incorrect. It's incorrect, and I know it's incorrect because my expertise on the fight or flight stress response, I've read the psychology books that one of the greatest programs in the world actually has, right? My son went to Columbia as a psych major and he gave me his books. They don't talk about what I'm talking about here. Anxiety has become this huge thing because people aren't talking about the stress response and how by breaking the stress response, you can instantly reduce your anxiety and depression, instantly. Yes, it takes work. I'm not going to say it's going to happen like that, but I've had clients have breakthroughs in 4 days, in 2.5 weeks. Usually it's about 6 to 8 weeks, which is why I built my programs the way I have. Because I know by that point, we can gain some traction and then we can start refining. And you'll be refining probably the rest of your life because you take on new challenges and new things happen. So let's look at these E words. Enlightened. The next one is empowered. A lot of people today are trying to force things. We're a very competitive society and we force. I want you to feel empowered from the inside. I want to get your inside operating system clean. So you stand in your full power and you don't have to force anything. One of my clients says that he's like a magnet now, like people come to him. I want you to be a magnet. I don't want you to have to force anything. I want you to feel true power to bring your gifts and talents out into the world. That is beautiful. So empowered is a huge word. Energized. So many of my clients come to me with chronic fatigue syndrome, with fibromyalgia, with things that are causing their energy to just be at ground zero. So let's get your energy back. Every time you trigger fight or flight, all of your body systems are compromised and your energy is taken up to fight or run away. So you're not metabolizing food well. Well, if you don't metabolize your food well, your energy can't get out to your cells. You're depowered. Does that make sense? You're powered up to fight or run away, but then you're really depowered and you can easily slip into depression when you've hit that wall. We're supposed to just be in the cave licking our wounds at that point. So energized, exhilarated, that's Hugh's word, calm and exhilarated. I love that word so much. We were going to brand a little word calm-exhilarated, but I'm not going to go there. It's like calm and exhilarated. And then one of my clients who's had a lot of difficulty in their life, and we were working together. And one day he just said to me, Elle, I just feel so extraordinary now. So I put that word down on this chart because of his experience and what he was going through and how much that changed for him. The G's aren't on here, but I want to give you the G's because we've gone A through E with an F and then the H. The G's are these: goal setting. So if you look under targets, you'll see the word goal. I teach some really interesting life design tools around goal setting, time management, etc. Completely unique tools. that help people so much. And the other two G words are generous. Well, let's do three: generous, gentle, and grace. I want you to give yourself a lot of generosity as you're playing with this framework, as you're playing with pressure free. I'm going to go off the share and come in hot with you. So be generous with yourself. You're breaking habits and reactions that are generations old. Okay. So it's going to take a little something. We need to process. Before pressure free, I was incredibly impatient. Just ask my family. Okay. Ask my birth family in particular. They will tell you that they don't like how I used to be at all. I don't like how I used to be. But after pressure free, I became so much more patient and generous and gentle. I'm still strong, but there's more of a gentleness now. And grace is a word. Like, give yourself the grace that it's going to take for you to transform and change. We have so many things, so many blocks, so many little things, tightnesses that we've built into ourselves. And to relax those out and untangle them, it takes a little bit of time. And so that's why I've built my courses for people. And I really encourage you to consider working with me if any of this has made sense for you. If you see something here and you're like, or see something that you want, or if you're just tired of feeling tired, or you have a chronic mental or physical situation and you're like, wow, what if that could soften a little? What if you could actually gain some traction to start healing? That's what we do here at Pressure Free Living. Pressure Free Living is for everyone. I want to see every home in every country have at least one person that has learned this method, so we can have a huge ripple effect and start to soften all the crap that's causing so much disease, so much unhealth, and so many people not able to get to solution. With Pressure Free Living, we get to solutions for health, solutions for your well-being, solutions for your relationships, solutions for money, because it's all intertwined. You can try to take it all apart, but how we operate, how this internal operating system is working, that is really it, man. We got to get that clean. It's funny how I remember when I first created this method, my husband said to me, it's like all of the gears in this major operation suddenly all clicked into place and it's all working. That's what happened to me in 2010 when I created this, started coaching it to others, and then started using it on myself. And I watched like all the gears just get into place, and it's like, oh, amazing machine. Amazing machine. I gained 1.5 hours to 2 hours in my day. One of my clients gained 3 hours in her day. That's ridiculous. That's because the boxes we're in, the things we've been told, you better get this number of hours of sleep. That's what a physician told me, because I had mono in high school. You better get this many sleep, and you better have these supplements, like tightness in his face. Like, I'm like, that was horrific. I don't need any of that. All I needed was to break the stress response and let my body, my incredibly divinely made body and mind, work the way it was designed to work. That's really what we do here at Pressure Free Living. And I hope this has been helpful to you. It's been my honor to share this with you. This is years and years of study, research, and truly a download from above in 2010 to bring this forward into the world. I'm on a big mission. I could definitely use your help to share this out, to get more people going through this transformation, because every person that goes through it creates a huge ripple effect. I've had people at companies, I've had people, parents go through this. I have a parenting book on Amazon. The CEO book is coming, by the way. It's in the editing process, but Pressure Free CEO is my second book that's coming out. And I have my workbooks, and I have my online courses, and I have, of course, my private coaching. So I'm here to help you. Private coaching is really the thing, because we get to fast track. I get to hear you. And I promise you, when I'm with you, I am really going to hear you, and I'm going to see you, and I'm going to be able to see how I can help you. So with that, I'm going to close out tonight. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you share it. I hope you like it. If you came all this way with me on this journey, I hope you've written a few notes and taken a few things down, and I'm going to put the link below to my website so you can come right in and book a call with me, and let's get started. Don't wait till January, by the way. Please don't wait till January, because right now is the best time to start making the transformation. You'll end the year in a completely different way, and you'll be so far ahead. If you're a competitive type person, this is perfect, because you'll be so far ahead in your body and mind to make 2023 truly the best year of your life. So if you need reaffirmation about what Pressure Free is all about, and you want to see testimonials, just go to my website. There's a beautiful one right on the front page, and you can tour all around. There's also a ton of stuff on YouTube, and you can hear people talk about me. But don't take it from me. Take it from someone who's worked with me. So on that beautiful note, have a great pressure-free day, night, whatever time it is for you. And we'll have another deep dive in 2023, but I will continue to always come forward for you, because I deeply care. I really deeply care, and you deserve to have a beautiful life.